fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
Happy St. Lammas Day week, everybody. I'm Jim Hutchinson with a New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine. August 11th marked the halfway point of the summer of 2020, the official end of dog days and St. Lammas Day. Actually, if you look up St. Lammas Day, go ahead and do this if you want, you'll get two versions. It's either August 11th or August 1st. I went with August 11th for the halfway point as opposed to August 1st because that's National Girlfriend's Day and I didn't want to jump all over that holiday either. We are at the halfway point of summer. It's hard to believe. And for a lot of us, I think with the weather the way it's been and with this whole COVID mess, I don't think too many people are sad to see the summer of 2020 and 2020 as a whole move along. And again, this week, more nasty storms, just reminding us that Mother Nature is still in charge, rattled through parts of the region midweek. Some vicious thunder and lightning for me here in northern Ocean County. And as we look towards the weather forecast for the weekend ahead, it looks like we have a chance of rain at parts of the Jersey Shore every single day from now and through the end of the weekend on Sunday. I would like to see more of mostly sunny skies as opposed to any partly cloudy, but again, keep an eye on that weather forecast. Looking towards the offshore grounds, the midweek forecast from NOAA looks about as dicey. From the Baltimore to Hudson this week, a cold front is moving into our waters Thursday and Thursday night, which is expected to bring a low pressure system with it. And for the most part, Thursday looks like the best day to be in and out offshore for that amazing yellowfin bite. Thursday, and it looks like maybe a little bit of Friday, but we do have some rather sporty conditions expected from the Baltimore to Hudson coming in this weekend. If getting offshore is one of your plans for the next few days, the NOAA weather forecast is certainly something I would ask you to keep your eye on. But if you saw our weekly online reports for the week, or you checked out this week's edition of the Fisherman magazine, the digital edition, you may have seen Tom P's offshore report and the yellowfin that responded very well to folks that were heading offshore after that hurricane went through last week. According to Tom and getting some of his reports gathered, yellowfin in the mix at the Triple Rex and the Texas Tower with a mix of these and bluefin at the 20 and 30 mile lines. A few more small bluefin were also showing at Barnegat Ridge as of the weekend. The canyons, west wall of the Hudson with yellowfin showing up there and all the way down to the grounds in South Jersey and Delaware, the hot dog and the 30 lump after last week's storms. So charter skippers at the Jersey Shore, I know, tried to maximize that bite. An outstanding jig bite on some good-sized yellowfin tuna. Lock and load, some folks were telling me. Captain Allen on Mushin Sport Fishing out of Point Pleasant, he had one of his charters out this week. They had 3 on at a time. The crew, the charter had so many fish, so arm-weary, and so much meat ready to go back that they were done at lunchtime, called it quits. So definitely a phenomenal bite out there. And again, I'm talking jigging and popping for yellowfin, not just those bluefin, but we're finding out some fish taken up on top. Those yellowfin taken up on top. Alan said he had at least one yellowfin taken on a top water. I heard from Steve Fox this week, who said Bob Graham got his first ever tuna while fishing aboard the Bandit out of Atlantic City this week. He went 8 for 8 at the Spencer in perfect seas. Now I heard that the bite was good, wasn't great. For the amount of life out there, they thought it should have been great, but 8 for 8, not too shabby. Good size yellowfin tuna. I hope to follow my own lead this week, so long as the weather allows. I'm hoping to join my friend Ryan Shalaba out on Thursday afternoon. I did say that was the good day. Well, Ryan and his wife Kelly Dempsey put the boots to sushi grade tuna over the weekend. So this is definitely something to take advantage of. If you get the chance, I'm taking the chance. If you get the opportunity to get out there and you find yourself a window and an opportunity, hit the grounds, get on those yellowfin. Last couple of seasons, the yellowfin bite has not been that great. This year, pretty solid, so take advantage of it. There's also good tilefish action, especially at the Hudson, finding areas of the Hudson Canyon. Chris Carlino said he hopped aboard the Voyager recently for a good trip on those golden tilefish. Now just remember, you guys that are heading out for tilefish, blue lines, or golden tilefish, as of August 17th, that's next week, you need to get a special permit to fish for tilefish. So where you went to get your HMS permit for your boat, you also have to go back and get a special HMS permit for tilefish. And you're also going to have to keep an electronic data report, meaning the EVTR, vessel trip reports, the same thing that the charter boats have to do, recreational guys have to as well. They've got to keep track of those tile fish reports when you're offshore. Again, that kicks in on August 17th. You can go over to the HMS permit site, make sure you have that if you're going out for sharks or billfish or tuna, and now of course that special permit for tilefish as well. Of course the head boats are already keeping the EVTRs and they're all set to go. Now just like the Voyager, this is also a good time to hop on a party boat, a head boat at the Jersey Shore if you're looking for some of those jumbo fluke, especially Central and North Jersey. Boats heading out of the Manasquan, Shark River, or any of the ports along the Raritan Bay shore, they're getting into some of those jumbos. The big ones responded well over the weekend. Spots like Axel Carlson and the Rattlesnake and those snags and wrecks up in North Jersey. But I know that boats like the Jamaica 2 out this week getting some really good reports on folks that were getting out for fluke. We also found out about a doormat on the Big Mohawk on Wednesday, a 10-pounder. They're out of that party boat that's based out of Belmar. So the fact is, these captains have a long history. Lots of numbers that you and I don't have access to and a lot of knowledge. So if you're looking to get in on the jumbo fluke bite, Central North Jersey seems like the place to be. If you're coming from Atlantic, Cape May County, or Pennsylvania, New York, and you want to get on those jumbos, that would be my advice. Although structured fishing is definitely the way to go. Those wrecks and reef sites all along the Jersey coast, down off the Delaware coast as well. That's the name of the game. So wherever you may be fishing this week, the Carol and Ann 3, for example, out of Barnegat Light, I know they're probably fishing the sticky stuff. They've been putting some good scores together. Could be the Tires, could be one of those reef sites out there, but certainly from Great Egg, Little Egg down south, Atlantic City, Wildwood, Cape May, and of course the reef sites in off the Delaware coast, all working pretty well. But again, it's that sticky stuff. Also, McCree's Shoal, I said McCree's again. McCree's Shoal has been producing some good fish. We found out from several folks that the fluke fishing there has been good. You also have the opportunity to see some of those cobia, maybe Spanish mackerel, looking for some inshore chicken mahi as well. We did hear from the folks at Lewis Harbor Marina that Cindy Collins was high hook on the Lightning boat out of Delaware. A bunch of fluke from 19 to 21 inches. She outfished the guys, so the guys were responsible for bringing the cooler full of fish into the fillet station there at Lewis Harbor. Again, that was McCree's Shoal with squid, minnows, and gulp. So those are some good opportunities for you. It might be time to lose some tackle out at the old grounds as well. Even if you're fishing terra firma, you get that good opportunity to fish from shore for summer flounder. The options are there. Down along the Delaware-Rehoboth Canal, a steady pick of small stripers and summer flounder. For 14-year-old Dom Cataline, he was using Spro bucktails. He told me it was chartreuse. He was also using gulp. Said copper penny was the way to go. I also heard from Tim Daly, who said cocktail blues and kingfish have been consistent all summer in the mid-Long Beach Island surf. Plentiful short fluke have also been in the suds as well. And that's the same if you go down Southern Ocean County into Atlantic County, Brigantine, Atlantic City, all the way down into the Cape May County beaches. Manny Butera tells me that the kingfish action South Jersey has been phenomenal. He fishes the Wildwoods and Stone Harbor quite a bit. Tim said he had this 19-incher on a 3/0 teaser hook tipped with gulp shrimp. It's good to hear from him. You know who I didn't hear from last week because of the hurricane was my good friend George, the Pocono Outdoors guy. Welcome back, George.
Well, hey, thanks, Jim. You know, it's great to be back. The hurricane coming through last week had us without power for a day or so I wasn't able to catch up with you guys with a report. But we're going to make up for it this week. You know, the hurricane did put power out and cause a little bit of damage, but it did some good, too. It brought those water temperatures down. Yeah, it's great. Lake temperatures here last week before the hurricane were up around 90. We had them measured this past weekend. They were 81 degrees. What a drop. And that 9 degrees makes a big difference. Of course, the rivers and streams, they're much lower as well because it's much colder water feeding into them. And that's got one thing really going good. The trout bite has been on. Can you believe it? Middle of summertime, and the trout is on. Justin Lerner's been over in New Jersey catching a bunch of these trout, and here's a really nice brown trout that he caught over in New Jersey. Now, the fish are doing pretty good here in Pennsylvania. Here's Johnny Broussard. He got himself a really nice brown and a rainbow. So even that's right here in the Lehigh, right in the middle of the Poconos. So a really good catch there. Also, Eric Goodstall, he fishes all those little local mountain streams around here. And he was fly fishing and got himself some brown trout. So people don't normally think of browns in the middle of summertime, but you can see they're producing really well. Now, also, the rivers have been producing because I guess the oxygen's mixing up, the water's cooling down. And here we have Nick Canestra in the upper Chesapeake where the lower Susquehanna feeds into it, getting some nice bass again. You know, Nick's been on fire with them. He's been getting them kind of week after week. Some real trophy bass there. And Brian Pikarowski got himself a really nice Susquehanna smallmouth out there on the Susquehanna as well. Him and his buddy Shane Fryer were out, and Shane got himself a really nice largemouth on the Susquehanna. Now, another river that's been producing, but we don't talk about it too much, good friend Kyle Gronsky was up on the Juniata River, and he was getting some nice smallmouth up there. So it seems like the lakes are kind of stagnant yet, but those rivers, creeks, and streams are producing really well. Guys, you got to get out and get on them. From Pennsylvania, I'm George, your Pocono Outdoors guy.
You know, one Jersey Shore option that I haven't talked about in the last couple of weeks, and I should have, is blackfish, tautog, tog, whatever you call it, white chin. We got our bag limit back again on August 1st. It's a one fish bag limit, 15 inches, but it's something for the jetty jocks to enjoy. So you're not just fishing for fluke or kingfish, but now you have that one tog limit back in place. A 15-incher, one of them all the way through until November. When we get a bigger bag limit, we can start targeting those brutes along the offshore wrecks and reef piles. But as Deadhead Dave shows over at Surf City Bait and Tackle, probably the South Jetty, is a good opportunity for you to double up on a couple of tasty critters, maybe a fluke and a blackfish. Of course, if you're in South Jersey, a little south of there, especially Atlantic County and Cape May County waters, you could double up on a tog with a sheep's head, because those sheep's head feed in the same way as those tog do. Tog jig, like a bottom sweeper or a magic tail, tipped with fiddler crab, of course green crab. Now that we do have that one tog limit, you're going to find some green crabs available in a lot of the tackle shops. Also like cheddar crab. I've got a friend tells me calico crabs work if you can get them behind one of the beaches or along the beaches and the inlets. So definitely keep that in mind. One of my buddies tells me for fishing for sheep's head, he likes to wait for the slack tide along that structure in the back. Bobby at Fisherman's Den in Belmar said the blackfish are biting in the Point Pleasant Canal and also along the Shark River inlet rocks. He also pointed to the beaches of Asbury Park for those looking to get into some of those kingfish in the wash. Speaking of which, congratulations out of Belmar to Ray Carrico and the S&S Bucktails crew. They took top honors in the Shillelagh tournament out of Shark River Inlet over the weekend. A solid 9-pounder for the friendly guy from Grumpy's Tackle in Seaside. Nice job, Ray. If you're looking for a friendly family type of competition starting this weekend from August 14th through the end of the month, you can post photos of your catch on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. Just hashtag drug-free-NJ for a shot at some great prizes. Just look for that social media tag on Facebook to find out more information about that. Don't forget, too, the Fisherman Magazine's Coastal Kayak Clash is running all the way through November. It's going strong. Kayak anglers who have registered free for that contest are earning points through their photos on board to a couple of great prizes, including an Old Town kayak. You're going to love this. New Jersey Edition subscriber Bob Wagner is still in the lead overall. And we've got false albacore and bonita. That category has not even been touched yet. So there's still plenty of time to enter, get in on that contest. And look, we've got the best of the jumbo fluke season ahead. And hopefully some of those bonita in close along the shore. You can get details on that contest over at the new and improved Fisherman Magazine website at thefisherman.com. Visit us. Look over to the right-hand side under Topics. And in that drop-down, you'll find the Coastal Kayak Clash. You can get in there and register as a kayak angler. Also follow the leaderboard. Our new website is up and running. It's been a long time in the works, but it's more easily laid out. It's easy to read, great for navigating, and I'm telling you, your subscribers are going to like this a lot more for getting access to that digital edition. It's a great website. I hope you go in and check it out. I did have an update from last week. We talked at last week's video about my Berkeley trip on Thursday. We did get out to the Rattlesnake with the crew from Berkeley Pure Fishing Penn. You know, Berkeley Line, the X9 braid guys and the Gulp folks. Everything cleaned up nicely. Let's put it that way. Water cleaned up nicely. The water was crystal clear after that storm, but the temperatures plummeted. We found the fluke bite to be very tentative. In fact, instead of those big wallops on this fluke, they were holding on to those baits. They were chewing a lot of our tails off. So that tentative bite kind of turned around by the weekend. I thought with that colder water, it was down 15, 18 degrees on Thursday. I thought maybe that would push some of the fish inside the inlet. If that colder water, if it gets cooler offshore, you might want to turn to the inlets to look for some of that fluke action. It's a great chance for me to get out from with the folks who make Gulp and who put this line together. They get a lot of information from us the way we fish, so that goes into their product development. For me, I find out a lot about the product development and what's to come. While I was on board, we were using the brand new Berkeley paddle shad, 5-inch and 4-inch models. These things were great. I was using them on the teaser for fluke. We also had some good action with the sea bass. These paddle shads from Gulp are phenomenal. They're going to be coming out later on this summer, maybe sometime in early September. Keep an eye out for it. Hopefully they don't catch me, because when they weren't looking, I put a couple of those suckers in my pocket and plan to use them this weekend. Hey, catch them up this week. Don't forget, that tuna bite is phenomenal. If you're going offshore though, keep an eye on that NOAA weather forecast, because it does look a little bit dicey for the weekend, but that could change at any time. Catch them up. We'll see you again next week right here at thefisherman.com.
Steigercraft boats, built by people who fish our waters. Serious anglers choose Steigercraft for their 40 years of boat building experience right here in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Visit steigercraft.com for a dealer near you.